Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy Legend, and I'm back with another video. Now, let me just get this out the way before we even get into the intro. 11 months ago, I uploaded a teaser video. I thought I uploaded part 1 of that video, but it turns out I didn't. And based off the title of this video, I'm guessing you already know which video I'm talking about. It was, what if Naruto was forced to go back in time? Now, like I said, I thought that I've already uploaded a part 1, but I only uploaded the teaser. So I was coming to upload part 2 today, but I had to do a quick change of plans when I realized there was no part 1. So you guys will be getting a slightly longer video today, and I will be giving you both part 1 and part 2 of that video in this one video. But without further ado, let's just get into the intro so we can start this what if.
Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah.
Naruto looked up at the three figures that looked down at him, laughing. Naruto was shaking, not out of fear, but out of shock, sadness, and blind fury that was about to explode out of him. You look as though you've seen a ghost, loser. Is it because of the rise of my power? Or maybe the growth of my other arm? Maybe it's the visual proof that I took in more of my heritage and became an Otsutsuki. Or maybe it's because of this thing that you see. Sasuke tossed the mask down to the ground as it hit with a thud and rolled in an unsteady line. Naruto dropped to his knees as he picked up the object and cradled it to his body as his tears fell. It was the decapitated head of his wife, Samui. Why? Why him? Why her? Why his unborn child? Yes, Samui and Naruto were going to be parents. She was 3 months in before her death. Naruto was so wrapped up in the decapitated head of his wife, he almost missed the comment made by Sasuke Otsutsuki. It's a shame that you don't have that nine-tailed monstrosity anymore. You may have been able to prevent some of this from happening. The three then began to fly away, but Naruto spoke. Stop right now. Sasuke and his company stopped mid-flight and turned. You think, because I don't have Kurama anymore, that I'm powerless? Well, you missed one thing, asshole. Naruto's eyes then turned yellow with a thick barred pupil. Unlike you, I never lost the chakra and all the power granted to me by Hagoromo. I only lost the truth-seeking orbs. I always thought that I would resort to using this power against the other great villages if they got any ideas after I lost the Nine-Tails, my friend. But I never thought I would use it against you for the second and last time. Now the Otsutsuki spoke beside Sasuke. Sasuke, what is he talking about? What power? Don't ask questions. Do not let him release that. If he does, all of us will die here and now. The three of them flew forward, and they made it 2 meters from the furious blonde before everything in a 150-yard radius was engulfed in a golden light. Sasuke and his companions were blown back, and a large portion of the village hidden in the leaves was vaporized. Naruto looked at the destruction that he caused with his own transformation, his transformation alone. But it didn't matter to him. He lost all sense of reason. He was going to kill Sasuke, and then he would kill himself. Naruto stood there, the long, golden and black Hiyori of the sage form fluttering in the wind. The heat that was radiating from his body was immense. Eyes that were always calm and sometimes focused in this form were now thick with rage and menacing calculation. Sasuke and the two Otsutsuki by his side began to stand, and that was when Naruto moved. He appeared next to one Otsutsuki, a golden Rasengan in hand, and a deadly look in his eyes. Kaguya was more of a challenge than this. Naruto slammed the Rasengan down onto the back of the man's, Otsutsuki's neck, trying to remove the Otsutsuki's head. Naruto's head then snapped to the left, seeing a silver streak of lightning coming at him. Naruto shifted his body before grabbing the outstretched hand as the silver Chidori crackled, arcing and burning away at his skin. Naruto brought back his fist before shooting it forward, but Sasuke evaded, switching places with the now half decomposed skull of Samui. The skull shattered, now nothing but dust, prompting Naruto to stop before he turned. Naruto moved, appearing in front of Sasuke. Naruto coated his fingertips in the wind chakra, moving faster than Sasuke could even track. Sasuke then screamed as he stumbled back, a hand over where his left eye was. The three watched as Naruto popped the Rene Sharingan, the purple and black liquid of the eye dripping from in between his fingers. Now, this next attack, none of you will be able to dodge. Naruto began to condense every ounce of his chakra into his chest, every ounce of his base chakra, every ounce of nature chakra in his coils that he could handle, and finally every ounce of Hagoromo's chakra as the six-pass cloak faded away from him, only leaving him with a yellow glow. You were always the faster of the two of us, Sasuke. Now, let's see you outrun this. Naruto released all his chakra as a bomb. Everything within a 10-mile radius was gone, vaporized, and it simply just didn't exist. The corpse of Sasuke and his companions were nothing but skeleton, and the Hidden Leaf village was a part of a crater that was made. Corpses littered all inside of it. However, the corpse of Naruto was nowhere to be found, as if it wasn't even there. Meanwhile, Naruto sat in front of a small fire in an all-black void. The weight of what he'd done had already sunk in. He annihilated the entire population of Konoha just to kill Sasuke. Naruto felt empty. Even though he was Hokage, he didn't care. That's probably why he was here in this black void. This was his personal hell. Nobody around, just him. He was alone. Naruto let out a sigh before his body was engulfed in a golden light. Naruto looked down at himself. He was glowing, but it wasn't of his doing. He then felt his consciousness being pulled. He didn't resist, and soon he felt as though he'd come crawling out of the depths of hell. His entire body hurt. His bones felt like fragile glass, meaning each movement felt like hell. Naruto opened his eyes. He had to squint as the sun shined into his broken and uncaring eyes. Naruto lay there, in far too much pain to move. Naruto didn't know how long he'd laid there. He could have sworn that he was dead, sworn that he killed himself, along with Sasuke, yet here he was, laying face up, watching the now setting sun. Naruto heard footsteps approaching. but he didn't bother to turn his head. When the person got close enough, he moved his eyes to look at the person or persons approaching. First, he saw a somewhat tall woman, maybe around 5'7", with long blonde hair and a restrained ponytail. Naruto swore he saw her before. She rose an eyebrow as she looked down at him. Shinobi Alliance? That's what the blonde woman in her 20s said as she looked at him, or more precisely his forehead protector. Naruto looked over a few inches to see a dark-skinned man with shades. Naruto blinked. He was about to speak, but the blonde woman just beat him to it. "You look like shit. It looks as though you've given up on life itself. What tragic event was so bad to make a 19 or 20-year-old just not want to live?" Naruto looked at her. He was confused, shocked, but his eyes wouldn't show it, nor his facial expressions. He was dead inside. Naruto finally spoke, not seeing the harm in it. "The man that I thought to be my best friend betrayed me. He sided with the enemy for power. He murdered my wife along with my unborn child. So yeah, I incinerated him along with all the other people I saw as family. That's what happens when rage takes over. You lose all sense of reasoning, all feelings, all common sense. You don't think, you just do. I even tried killing myself afterward, but it obviously didn't work. I'm still alive, and for some reason I'm younger in terms of appearance." The dark-skinned man finally spoke. "That's some fucked up shit. Yugito, maybe we should take him to the village. The Raikage isn't against growing the power of Kumo. Plus, I think he deserves a fresh start at life." Meanwhile, inside the blonde woman, a large green eye snapped open before the other yellow eye opened. The blue cat of fire stood with a purr. "This man, he feels like father, but he's also different." Yugito kneeled down and grabbed Naruto and slung one of his arms around her neck and stood. Her partner then put the other arm around his neck as the three walked off, heading towards Kumo. Meanwhile, in the Raikage's office, there were a few moans and grunts that escaped through the closed doors. The Raikage was in a sloppy lip lock with a blonde. He groped the massive orbs that were her chest as she gasped into the kiss. She slowly pumped the thick black serpent that was the Raikage's snake. The blonde woman better positioned herself on the Raikage's lap before she aligned him with her entrance. Guys, you already know what's about to go down in this scene, and I can't really read any of this without my channel getting deleted, so I'm gonna have to skip forward just a little bit. The Raikage and Samui then began to get dressed after quickly cleaning themselves up, though the smell of intercourse, arousal, and now climax was still in the air. When the two were finally dressed, the Raikage went into the bottom drawer of his desk and pulled out a stack of Ryu notes. "For your mission, the entire 250,000 should be there." Samui took the cash and counted it. It was all there. She nodded and turned awkwardly as she began to walk out, but the Raikage stopped her, calling her name. She turned around to look at him as he went into his desk and pulled out a small black box. He placed it onto his desk and opened it. He then pushed it towards her. "Samui, will you marry me?" She was shocked, and it showed. Her hands covered her mouth, and her eyes were wide. All this time, she thought the Raikage just saw her as some whore or slut, but he was asking her to marry him. "Samui, I never had you doing these A-rank missions because I was pent up. It was because I liked you. I just never knew how to say it. So I went with this. But I actually do care for you, even though it's embarrassing to say. I even started reading books on how to properly pleasure a woman after the many times of seeing you unsatisfied when we finished. So I ask you again, Samui, will you marry me?" At that very moment, Yugito walked in with her partner and the still fatigued Naruto as Samui turned. The shock still present on her face, Yugito then spoke. "Raikage-sama, we found..." Yugito slowly stopped as she saw the shocked look on Samui's face. She then smelled the aroma. She then noticed the small black box holding a ring on the Raikage's desk. She slowly pieced together everything as her eyes widened. She went to speak, but at that very moment, Naruto looked up, removing his hair from his view. He was taken aback. It was his wife, Samui. She stood there, but with a strange expression on her face. Naruto noticed a small tear in her eye, confusing him even more than he already was. Why was she crying? And why was it smelling like sex in the Raikage's office? Naruto then looked over at the Raikage as the buff man looked at him with a raised eyebrow. Naruto then looked down a bit as he saw the ring. He put everything together in a second as a force, a strong pressure, slammed down onto everyone. The people in the room began to sweat. The room shook and the glass began to creak before it exploded outward. The skies outside began to darken. The clouds twisted and began to erupt with lightning. The rain began to pour as it blew into the Raikage's office. The two tails inside Yugito snapped her eyes open as she began to shake and cower at the power coming from Naruto. Father is angry. What could have set him off like this? The floor under Naruto, Yugito, and the other man broke. Then the pressure lifted. It was gone. Naruto had calmed himself enough to see that he was causing pain to the one that he loved the most. The one who was now about to marry the Raikage. The thunder and lightning stopped, but the skies were still dark and the rain continued. I'm sorry. I don't quite have a grip on my power in my weakened state. My apologies. But I don't belong here. I already caused enough damage. I don't want to cause anything or hurt anyone. I'll take my leave now. Please forgive me. Naruto slowly turned and made his way out of the office as fast as he could. But due to his sorry physical state and now mental state, he was moving slow as he held on to his aching bones. Everyone in the office was shocked. There was a small puddle underneath Yugito. Sweat poured from the Raikage. Samui was on her knees as the floor had broken underneath her. Yugito's Biju then spoke to her. Yugi-chan! Yugito snapped out of her shock and answered, Yes, Manatabi? The cat growled out to her. Go after him now and make sure to keep him close. Yugito nodded and went into the hall to catch up to Naruto, but to her surprise, he wasn't there. Yugito ran off looking for the blonde man, who showed such power in his weakened state. Meanwhile, Naruto walked as he approached the gates of Kumo. He continued to walk, passing through them, now out of the village. He walked until he couldn't, not making it far from the village. Damn it! What the hell is this? What personal hell? Who thought it would be funny? What type of sick joke is this? A white Rasengan formed in Naruto's palm as he slammed it into a tree, causing the entire thing to be destroyed violently as it was ripped and ground through before the Rasengan imploded, taking the tree with it. Damn it! Naruto dropped to his knees as the rain fell on top of him, tears running down his face, but the only way you could tell would be the sound of his sobs. Why are you crying, my son? Naruto looked up. Was he seeing things? How was he here? Old man Sage. The ghostly figure of Hagoromo smiled as he spoke again. Yes, it is I, my son. Now, tell me, what upsets you? You have been given a second chance, been given a chance to create a better future, but you sit here, venting your anger on the nature around you. Naruto spoke. You say given a second chance, but in reality this is just my personal hell. The woman that I love and would do any and everything for. She is now about to marry the Raikage. I don't know how or what happened, but one minute I'm leveling an entire village just to kill one person along with myself. And then I wake up in a black void with a fire. And then the next minute, I'm in excruciating pain looking up at the sky when I was dead not 2 seconds earlier. The former sage nodded. I see. Let me give you words of advice. 1. Never get this emotional over anyone that isn't your flesh and blood. She may have been your wife in one timeline, but in this timeline, she is not yet yours. And 2, as the second coming of me, you need to be more aware, calm, collected, smart. For you know, she may not be marrying him, but even if she is, there is always someone out there that is better for you. Now, I have to go, my son. You have company. Hagoromo then vanished in the wind as Naruto heard footsteps behind him. He wiped the tears and the rain from his eyes and turned to see Yugito. She was soaking, some strands of her hair sticking to her face, her clothes sticking to her athletic and slightly shapely body, and she was panting slightly. Now that she had found him, she didn't know what to say, so she said the first thing that came to her mind. Were you crying? Naruto looked at her. His eyes were now showing emotions, and the emotion they showed were anger, sadness, betrayal, and confusion. No, I wasn't crying. It's just the rain. Now what do you want? Are you here to kill me for the little show I put on back there? Are you here to capture me? Or do you want some type of information? Yugito was floored by the sharpness of his tone. What? No, Yugito sighed. You know, your eyes are very telling. They convey emotions better than a woman in heat. When I first found you, your eyes held no emotion, zero. Like you didn't care, as though you wanted everything to just end. I thought I'd be a good person and attempt to give you a new start in life. But when I brought you to the Raikage, I saw your eyes show so many emotions. First, they showed shock as you looked at Samui, and then it was affection and joy. Then they showed confusion. I watched as you turned to the Raikage before your eyes showed nothing but rage. I want to know why. Naruto looked at her. He had to admit, she was observant. So what? Do you want to pry into my personal life now? Well, here, at the current moment, I don't have full control over my power. When I saw Samui, for a split second, I saw my wife in her. And smelling the odor in the air and seeing the ring on that desk, it set me off. Naruto's voice choked up at the end as he was trying desperately to fight back tears. Yugito walked up to Naruto and hugged him. Her heart ached for him in the moment. She then released him and began to speak. I'm not going to stand here and pretend that I know what it feels like, because I don't. But I also don't want to see you suffer. And someone else doesn't want to see you suffer either. But I can tell you're a good person. You show emotions that are genuine, even though it wasn't directed exactly to her. Your eyes showed love. So please, if there is any way that we can help you, then please let us help. Naruto looked at her. Why was she being so nice? The few interactions he had with her back in his timeline, she was sassy and easy to anger. Why do you care? You don't even know me. Hell, I could be a spy for all you know. Yet you're willing to bring me into your village. Yugito scoffed. You, a spy? Please. Based on that outburst, you're no spy. And I care because a friend of mine wants to make sure you're okay and well. And I can't just let you leave when you have no place to go. And with the way you look, the stone wouldn't hesitate to kill you. Naruto smiled, just the smallest amount. He went to speak, but before he could get the words out, he just collapsed and passed out, the fatigue and exhaustion finally catching up to him. Yugito caught him, and she sighed. Well, now I gotta bring him to the village so he can fully recover. The next morning, Naruto gasped as he awoke. He was sweating as he sat up in the bed as he looked around. Where am I? Naruto thought. He was in a bedroom that wasn't too furnished, not that much. It had little to no decoration, no pictures on the walls, and it was a tad dusty, as if nobody really came in there that much. He also noticed that he wasn't restrained at all. His head then snapped to the left as Yugito walked into the doorway. Oh, you're awake. I had to bring you to my place so you could rest. You collapsed in front of me while we were speaking, said Yugito. Naruto nodded as he stared off into space. His woman, his wife, his everything, Samui, was actually intimate with someone like the Raikage, and she was even going to marry him. Naruto quickly wiped the tear from his eye as he stood. He then felt another chakra signature arrive at the house. It was the Raikage. Naruto felt nothing but pure rage flood his body, but he controlled himself. He did not want to let his rage take over him again, because if he did, this entire village would turn out like the Konoha in his timeline. A few deep breaths later, and Naruto began to walk, meeting the Raikage at the front door. Hello, Raikage Dono. Naruto grit his teeth as he greeted the man. It's a pleasure to meet you, especially in this beautiful village. Naruto extended a hand to shake the Raikage's. Said man looked at Naruto with a wary look, before gripping the extended hand and shaking it. You call me Dono like we are equal in status. Naruto wanted to sneer at the man, but he held it back as he responded. You're right. We aren't equal. You're just a Kage, while I myself am a perfect sage among other things. Naruto pulled his hand away as he continued to try and suppress his power and chakra levels, lest the Raikage soil himself. Though, the idea of humiliating the man who touched what was his sounded nice. He went against it, so he wouldn't have to deal with any consequences. The Raikage wanted to say something to retort, to tell the blonde off, but he couldn't bring himself to do so. After all, just the previous day, the man that stood in front of him made him nearly piss himself. In an injured state, the Raikage cleared his throat. Yes, if you say so. But what I wanted to know is, what do you plan to do? You were found by my shinobi and brought to my village. You also have a strange headband that I've never seen before. You are also strong, probably the strongest person I've met, and it would be a real benefit if you joined my village, if you don't already belong to one. Naruto looked at the Raikage. That's a generous offer, but I still have other things that I need to take care of, and those things will take me out of this country. A bead of sweat ran down the Raikage's face as he swallowed. Yes, right. You are a busy man, and I'm sure you have things that you must attend to. I will talk to you at a later date. The Raikage turned and quickly made his way to leave. The longer he was in the blonde's presence, the more he started to feel uneasy, and the more he got the feeling that he didn't like him, and the more pressure he felt weighing him down. Yugito, however, was completely amazed. She just watched someone strike fear into her Kage without doing anything. All he did was speak and maintain eye contact, and she watched as her Kage shrink in on himself until he finally left. Naruto turned to face Yugito with an irritated look. Do I have permission to use any of your training grounds? I have a bit of steam that I need to blow off. Yugito nodded as she walked and escorted Naruto to her personal training grounds, a place where he could get as reckless as he wished. Naruto looked around the spacious field and hummed. This should do. Naruto took a few steps forward as he spoke under his breath. The entire time I've been Hokage, I've gotten very little time to train. This means I'm rusty, even with all the power I possess. It means nothing if I can't control it. Naruto created 6 clones, as 4 got into formation and created a barrier around the original and remaining 2 clones. The 2 clones stood side by side and across from the original. Naruto stood there with his arms crossed as he waited, his eyes closed and breathing calm. He stood there for a few seconds, and then he could no longer feel the energy of the clones that were in front of him. Naruto opened his eyes and uncrossed his arms to see both of his clones in Sage mode. Yugito could feel the change in power from outside of the barrier, causing her to step back and gasp. It was calming, but also had this heavy feeling to it. Naruto let out a breath. Alright, let's go. One of the Naruto clones punched the air as a powerful gust of wind shot forward directly at the original. Naruto jumped over the powerful wind blast as a yellow Rasengan formed in his hand as he came down onto the other clone, who countered it with his own Rasengan, causing the original to be blown back as he landed softly on his feet. Naruto looked up to see both of his clones above him, His instinct told him to block, but he chose to jump back, lest he break his forearms from blocking his nature-enhanced clones. Naruto formed the horse hand sign as 3 massive water dragons shot up towards his clones. Upon reaching them, 2 of them instantly dispersed, and the last one was sliced in half. Naruto gritted his teeth. I'm not even surprised. Naruto shot forward, his right hand starting to spark with electricity as a trail of water shot up behind from the speed at which Naruto was moving at. Lightning style, lightning net. Both of the clones jumped aside, and Yugito raised an eyebrow. How advanced is he? He was able to create 3 massive water dragons with 1 hand sign, and created a lightning jutsu with 0 hand signs. On top of that, he was able to do this advanced sealing technique and use senjutsu on top of that strange spiraling jutsu. You've most definitely gotten my interest. As Yugito turned her attention back toward the strange fight in front of her, she saw the real Naruto skid back on the surface of the water as he placed a hand below the surface to slow himself down. Naruto stood to his feet and wiped the sweat from his forehead. Naruto chuckled. The 2 clones that he were sparring against using Sage Mode, they were only using Sage Mode at 50% efficiency, and now he was about to give them the mental order to use Sage Mode at the fullest potential. Naruto took a deep breath before giving the mental order. Once the order was given, Naruto had quickly take a breath as he was knocked down into the water. Naruto propelled himself out of the water with a Sengon in both of his hands as he came down onto his clones. But before he could even get within 5 feet of them, he was hit hard in the chest, causing the wind to be knocked out of him. Naruto collapsed out of the air and landed back first on the surface of the water. The moment he hit the water, his clones dispelled. When he took the hit, he felt a few of his ribs creak and bend a little, as if someone were testing the durability of his bones. Naruto lay on the surface of the water, mouth agape as he held his torso. He heard someone running up to him on the surface of the water. He knew it was Yugito since she was the only one there with him. Are you okay? Yugito asked as she knelt down beside Naruto, placing a hand on his chest. I'm fine. Naruto slowly sat up as he winced. Just experienced one of my own techniques at 100% power. Naruto stood and took a deep breath so he could get control of his breathing and numb the pain that he was feeling. Yugito watched Naruto as he started to walk off, the pain as if it were no longer affecting him. The more she watched him, the more curious she got. Wait, if you're up for it, I would really like to fight you. Naruto looked at her over his shoulder from the corner of his eye. From what he remembered, in his timeline, she was confident, prideful, and intrigued by power. You don't want to fight me. And if I'm being honest, it wouldn't be a fight, nor would it be a spar. It would be a one-sided beating. Surprisingly, Yugito didn't get upset. All she did was smile and retort with, "That has yet to be proven." Naruto could do nothing but smile as he turned to face her. Then prove me wrong. Naruto motioned to Yugito to come at him, and she did. She moved forward, going as fast as her legs could take her. To Naruto, she wasn't fast, nor was she slow. If Naruto had to compare her speed to anyone, Yugito was as fast as Tsunade. Naruto seemingly blinked in front of Yugito, catching her by surprise. Naruto went to jab her in the face, but Yugito dodged by leaning back, performing an unintentional back handspring. She extended the nails on her toes, mid-flip, causing Naruto to jump back, avoiding the razor-sharp nails as the two of them landed. Huh. The flexibility of your body is nearly cat-like. However, that's not at all surprising, considering you're the Jinchuriki of the two-tailed Hellcat. Yugito narrowed her eyes. You know, to freely admit that you know such valuable information like that makes you seem like a spy. How did you come across this information? Naruto chuckled. Please. I can practically feel both chakra signals circulating within your chakra pathways. Now, shall we continue this fight? Naruto gave no time for her to answer as he seemingly teleported behind her and gave her a nasty kidney punch. Yugito skid across the surface of the water before she stopped and slowly got up. She was clearly unstable on her legs as they shook underneath her own body weight. Damn. One hit, and my body already wants to give up. Yugito heard watery footsteps approaching as she looked up to see Naruto. This fight is pointless. It proved absolutely nothing. I'm not trying to brag, but I hold far more power than you, and I've got far more fatal experience than you can even fathom. Naruto turned around and kneeled down in front of Yugito. Get on. As you are now, you won't be able to walk back to your house. Yugito did as she was told and slightly brushed at the amount of authority that Naruto commanded without even demanding it. His attitude commanded you to respect him. His power commanded you to fear him. And his personality commanded you to befriend him. Yugito then saw and felt the world spin around her and Naruto, and it made her dizzy. She knew that Naruto could move at high speeds, but she never experienced a speed so great to where she couldn't even walk straight. As she tried to walk to her front door, as Naruto put her down, Naruto had to wrap an arm around her waist so she wouldn't fall over and embarrass herself. Are you good? Yugito held on to him with a blush as she nodded. The both of them then heard someone clear their throat behind them. Naruto quickly released Yugito as the two turned around. Am I interrupting something? The question was asked by Samui, and if Naruto was being honest, the question made his heart sting due to his previous relationship back when he was alive in his own time period. Of course not. Naruto was just helping me stand. Samui gave a disbelieving scoff as she caught the two in a somewhat compromising position. Well, the Raikage wanted me to show Naruto to his hotel room that's been paid for. That way he won't have to stay with you until he decides to take his leave. Naruto gave a forced nod. If he was being honest, he didn't know what to do. The woman that was supposed to be his wife was right in front of him, her beauty rivaling that of Meitorumi and Tsunade Senju. Yet, she was in some type of fucking relationship with the damn Raikage. Naruto began to walk before he spoke. Samui, was it? You think you can show me where your shinobi shop is before showing me to my hotel? Samui nodded as she walked ahead of Naruto, leading the way. Naruto followed after her as they left Yugito to deal with her newly budding feelings. As the two walked, Naruto was thinking of a lot of things, but the main thing that was at the forefront of his mind was Samui. He was then snapped out of his thoughts as she spoke. You know, you are really uncool. Naruto was shocked that she would say something like that to him unprovoked. Excuse me? Samui looked at him as they walked. You heard me. You asked me to walk with you, yet you don't even attempt to talk to me. At least ask me what I think of the weather. Naruto, not getting what his somewhat former wife was saying, actually asked her what she thought of the weather today. Samui looked at Naruto with an amused look. You're not supposed to actually ask me about the weather. In short, all I'm asking is that you at least try to talk to me and make conversation with me. The two continued to walk as Naruto spoke. Isn't it inappropriate to try and make conversation with the Raikage's woman behind his back? Samui visibly stiffened at the sentence. She didn't like that statement at all. So, he told you then? Naruto looked at her confused. No, I'm just very observant. And it's also hard for you to deny it. When I walked into his office, the entire room smelled of sex. You were next to him, crying, and there was an engagement ring on the desk. Samui looked at Naruto with a curious look as they walked into the store. You really are observant. Yes, everything that you pieced together in your head did happen. We did have sex. He proposed afterwards, but I never gave him an answer. Mainly because, one, he just sprung it on me out of nowhere after buying me like some common whore multiple times. And two, his penis is on the bigger side of the spectrum, so it makes it harder for me to actually enjoy it, especially when I take the full thing. It's just painful. And three, I just don't feel that way for him, so I really don't want to marry him, but I don't know how to tell him that without angering him, though I doubt he'd do anything too drastic. But now you've caught my interest. If I remember correctly, you seem to have gotten extremely pissed soon after you entered the office. Why is that? Naruto looked away as he answered. It's for reasons that have to do with my personal life. In short, you reminded me of someone for a split second. Samui groaned in irritation as she rubbed her aching back. She then spoke. So then, in short, you got jealous. Naruto could only chuckle as he took some of the clothes off of the hanger and grabbed some shinobi supplies. You keep rubbing your back as if it hurts. Why is that? Naruto knew why she was rubbing her back. He just wanted to change the subject. Samui groaned once again. If you were a female, then you'd know why. Naruto nodded. If you want, I could give you a massage once we get to my hotel room. I've been told I have the hands of a god. Samui rolled the idea around in her head before she agreed. After that, she began to slightly encourage him to hurry up so they could get to his hotel room. When they finally did get to his room, Samui instantly lay face down on his bed. Naruto sealed away all of his clothes and equipment, and then he began to give Samui the massage he used to always give her. He started at her feet. The muscles in them were extremely tense. When he was done, he moved up to her calves, and soon she began to let out approving mewls. And soon those mewls turned into slight moans once he got to her lower back. His hands really were the hands of a god. Every time he touched her, some of the pain would just vanish. Though to her, she was slightly embarrassed that a man was making her moan from just a mere back rub. But at the same time, she was enjoying every second of it. But guys, I'm going to end it off right here. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe while you're at it. Also, I am extremely sick right now. I don't know if you guys can hear it in my voice, but this video specifically was just real hard to record, mainly because I'm just sick right now. But If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe while you're at it. Without further ado, I will see you guys in the next one.